Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer. This is Metatron speaking. If this is your first time watching this channel, I'm a channeler. I bring in messages from archangels and other loving guides. I try to share about all parts of my spiritual journey in order to help others who are maybe in the same place, or maybe you're just beginning to wake up. It helps all of us to realize that there are so many more of us out there in the world that are going through this same process together. What I wanted to give you today, and I realize I need to look it up. First off, I wanted to give you the names of some winners. So there was a drawing, if you will. There was an opportunity to win a couple free sessions. And that was during the last video I posted, I believe. And so it was an Andromedan activation that was given away, and also a generational healing channeled meditation that was given away, or up to be given away. Let me take a look. I actually took a picture of the names so that I wouldn't get it wrong. There they are. So what actually ended up happening, the reason these are free services is we had a very generous donor who provided us enough money to basically purchase 4 sessions. And the reason she did this is she's a wonderful client of ours. We've worked with her for a long time, and she had told us that she valued and she benefited so much from our services that she really wanted to pass that along to others who could benefit from it as well. So I had a message that I gave to all of you for the new year. It's like a live that I did, and I gave you guys all a message. And I was telling you how unbelievable it is. The people that watch this channel, the people that Metatron and the angels bring into this kind of group that watches these videos, just an unbelievable group of people. I it it is not at all what I was expecting, and I am so blessed for what it is. Um, the people in this group are very aware, they're involved, they're spreading love. And we've had so many clients of ours donate services. And so I'm actually going to talk to you about that more as well. Okay, let me first tell you the winners. So for the Andromedan activation, it's Alexander Kennedy 1801. And for the generational trauma channeled meditation, it's Marionette Joberg 4802. But wait, there's another winner because, well, first let me tell you who it is and then I'll explain. So we have another winner of the Andromedan activation. It's Felicia Grippenscold 3321. So all 3 of you, Alexander Kennedy 1801, Felicia Grippenscold 3321, Marionette Joberg 4802. All 3 of you, if you could reach out to us on our website, orangelightenergy.com, any of the buttons that say request a schedule a session, or whatever it says, contact us. I'm not even sure what the button says anymore, but reach out to us on there. Let us know that here you are, and then we can start scheduling you and getting your free service going for you. The reason that second Andromedan activation is free is we had another client who believes very much in the work that we're doing, and she wants to see more people impacted by this work. And so she has given us funds in order to purchase. It's going to be many sessions ultimately. Susan and I haven't talked to Metatron enough yet to finalize what sessions he wants to give away. At this time, there's that second Andromedan activation is part of this other donor. So that's part of it. Man, Metatron, what do you want me to talk about today? Do you want me to do? You do, don't you? Okay. He wants me to give away another service from that same donor. Okay. Let me pull it up. Man, we're just going to be like talking about services and giving away free ones because I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a while. And so stuff kind of accumulated while I was away. I know it was like 4 days, but it felt like 2 weeks. Okay, I'm actually going to pull up our website so I can let Metatron choose orangelightenergy.com. I'm going to services. Okay, no, no, that's the one you want, right? Right? Okay. Right? I'm like questioning it. He's saying yes. Okay. Ancestral healing. Ancestral healing is one of the sessions we do. Now, we just gave away a service called generational healing channeled meditation. So don't get it confused. The generational one that we just gave away works on things that have come down through the line from your great grandparents, grandparents, and parents because of modified DNA. Well, because of modified DNA, which is a physical representation of the energetic changes, I guess is how I should say that. The session I want to talk about is called ancestral healing. So ancestral healing means not just a couple generations back, it means all the way back. So let me tell you kind of what you can expect from this session because Metatron wants me to give this away for free. So I want you to kind of tune in and see if this is something you feel would be appropriate for you. Yeah. Clearing and healing of ancestral trauma and wounding. And this is one of the services that Susan, my business partner, does. So this is why I'm reading it to make sure I'm being accurate. She says, we will call forward all of your ancestors across space, time, and dimension who wish to take part at this time. For each of those gathered, so this is why this service is so impactful. It's not just going to help you. It's going to also help your ancestors. So for anyone who chooses to step forward from your ancestral line, she is going to release all negative karma that is possible at that time, lift any blocks, restrictions, or curses that have been placed upon you or any of your ancestors that can be released at that time. Remove any energetic attachments that do not serve your highest good and well-being. Cut all energetic cords connected to you at any time, place, or soul that does not serve your highest good. And then trauma removal and energetic healing. So part of what she does during this service is she actually locates a past lifetime event. It could be your soul if you incarnated further back in your ancestral line. It probably won't be, but it could be your soul. It's probably somebody else's soul. So there's going to be an original ancestral trauma that was the result of this original event that happened. This event created such a deep wound that it did a modification to a portion of. Oh, interesting. Okay. I didn't realize he's saying yes. I didn't realize that it did it that modified the DNA, whether it was generational or ancestral, but he says yes. So through this modification, trauma passes down through the ancestral line. So how it works, when you have an original trauma and it's being passed down through the generations. So whoever has that original trauma happen to them, it's so intense, it actually switches on and off different parts of the DNA. It changes the DNA. Now, when this person goes to reproduce, that changed DNA is inherited down the line, and it keeps going. The thing with genes in your DNA is that, let's say me and my sister. Let's say we have the exact same gene that we've inherited from either our mother or our father. And maybe my sister has the gene, but she doesn't have the behavior. She doesn't have the trauma associated with the behavior. I might have the gene and I might express it and I might have that behavior. So even though you can have identical genes, it's more complicated than just, oh, you have the gene, you have the behavior. That's why you'll see things like addictions skip generations. The grandparents, the grandfather is an alcoholic. The father is fine, and then the granddaughter is an alcoholic. And this is why you'll see things skip generations or skip siblings, because it's more complicated than just you have the gene, you have this issue. There's lots of other factors involved. But what this service does is it takes all those energetic cords and those energetic things that are perpetuating that behavior coming down the line, and it's removing that so that now it's putting the power back with the person where they can more easily choose a different pathway. Some of these energetic things that are in place, yeah, he showed it to me. I know this is going to sound strange, but it's what he's showing me. He's showing me that it's like I know it sounds weird, but this is what he's showing me. It's like inheriting a demon. It's like the demons of, and by demons, it's not literal. I should probably use a different word so it doesn't sound so confusing. It's like the dark energies, that's probably a better word. The dark energies that come with these generational issues, rage, addictions, depression, narcissism, these things that tend to follow down through the line, they can have a really strong grip on people. And it's not that you have to have this service in order to break through it. You don't have to have this service in order to break through it. There are people every day who work really, really hard, who have broken free from the things they've seen in their parents and the things they've seen in their grandparents. But some of us recognize that we're having a really hard time letting go of something that we don't want to have in the first place. It's not what we want for ourselves. It's not part of like personality, really. It's just something that we struggle with and we're susceptible to. We're vulnerable to it. So, anyways, so we're going to give away this service for free, also from the same donor that I mentioned earlier. So if you're interested in the service, go ahead and leave a comment. I'm also, man, Metatron. Okay. I'm not joking, you guys, when I'm telling you this. We have another donor. I'm not joking. This is why I'm telling you this group is like insanely on fire, ready to change the world, ready to do things. So we just finished up all giving away the services from the one donor. We have another donor who's going to be giving away many services. We just did 2 of them. I have another donor. I'm not joking. She just had also a wonderful client of ours. Wonderful client of ours. She just recently had the Black Magic clearing and protection service, and she felt the value of that session so strongly that she really wanted that particular session to be provided to someone here on YouTube. So she purchased that session already, and Metatron wants me to give that away now. So, real quick, the Black Magic Clearing and Protection Service, it's 2 parts. It's removing, well, it's actually like 3 parts if I think about it. It's removing hexes, which you might feel like, a hex? I don't have a hex. This is one of the services that totally surprised me because I have yet to find someone who doesn't. I get this is like really a common thing with light workers. I've yet to find someone who's really clean and doesn't have anything at all. But again, I only work on people who are awake right now. And so the people who are awake right now are the people who've had a lot of magical past lifetimes. I mentioned this in a video before. I was saying, like, if you like Lord of the Rings, if you like Harry Potter, you've had magical past lifetimes, you've been a witch, you've been a wizard, you've done things here on Earth, you've done things on other planets, and because of that, you are very susceptible to coming across energies who know black magic, who are irritated by your white or gray magic, and they will give you a hex. So anyways, so a lot of people have it, and it was a surprise to me. When I created this service, it was because at first it was one client who asked about it, and then there was a second client that asked about it, and so I made the service with Metatron, and I was thinking, this is awesome. This is going to help these 2 people, and if someone way down the line has this problem, it'll help them too. I had no idea that it was going to be like almost one of the most foundational services to receive as a light worker, because it's clearing hexes, which are essentially, man, how do I explain it? It's a restriction. It's something that's holding you down into a particular way of thinking or a particular behavior. And it's the same kind of concept as the ancestral trauma, where it's something that's making it difficult for you to pivot away from something in your life that you don't want in order to allow you to focus on the things that you do want. So it removes hexes. It removes black magic energy cords, which are different from any other kind of energy cord. They do take a lot more work to remove. It's not something that, I mean, unless you have been trained by someone else or one of your spirit guides, you're not going to do like a daily clearing and be able to clear off a black magic energy cord. You need to take a lot of extra precautions because black magic is not messing around. If you try to clear or remove black magic energy and you don't have any experience with what you need to do, that energy can come right back to you. So you don't play around with it. Okay, removes hexes, removes black magic energy cords. There's a 7-day ritual that goes with that service to remove any oaths or contracts that you voluntarily got yourself into in this lifetime or a past lifetime, more common than you would think. And then really cool, like my favorite part of the whole session, I mean, it's really fulfilling to be able to remove these lower vibrational restrictions from people. But I love, love, love talking with guides. And so my favorite part of the session is programming a piece of jewelry. So that's included in the black magic clearing and protection. So you can send me a picture of your jewelry, whatever piece you like, and you program it with protective energies so that you can no longer receive hexes. You can no longer receive black magic energy cords. You can no longer receive galactic implants unless it's part of your soul contract. Because like me, I have like the most amazing protections in the world. I have my Show the Love necklace. I have 2 of them actually. And they've been programmed for protection, and it's amazing. But because my contract allows me to experience a lot of things, I still have attacks from time to time for my own education and my own experiences. That's what my soul wanted. My soul wanted an adventure. Here I am. So yeah, and then during the programming of this jewelry, there are 3 of your guides that come forward and they give messages that are relevant to where you are right now in your life. So it's really awesome. Anyhow, I talked about that way longer than I thought I was going to. Metatron apparently wanted to do that. So if you're interested in the black magic clearing and protection service, that's being given away from one donor. If you're interested in the ancestral clearing, I probably said that wrong. Ancestral healing. Thank you, Metatron. Black magic, ancestral healing. If you're interested in either of those services, indicate it in the comments. Don't say you're interested in both. If one of those resonates, pick which one resonates for you. Tune in, like, okay, Metatron's talking. Tune in to how it feels. Tune in. Like, don't listen to your thoughts. Clear your thoughts for a second. Feel your body. I'm going to put links in the description of this video. Click on the links. Look at the crystal grids that we built for each of these services. Look at them. Do you feel something when you look at either of them? Do you feel something change in your body? Because if you feel something move a little bit in your body, or your temperature changes a little bit, or you feel pressure, or you feel discomfort, or you feel better when you're looking at one of these crystal grids, that's you responding to the energy of the service. That's the indicator that this is a good choice for you. If you look at it and you feel absolutely nothing, and you think about it and you're like, no, that just doesn't really resonate, then it's not for you. And that's fine. Slide it to the side. If something is right to you, it'll keep coming back into your thoughts. Even if you're like, oh no, I don't have anything black magic. And then you go and you do the dishes and you're doing the laundry and you're going to work, and then later you're like thinking about it again. If it keeps popping into your mind, it's because your angels are like, hey, I know you don't think this is a problem, but this is a problem. Okay, so one of either of those services. Gosh, Metatron, I have this big long message, and now I don't even know if I'm gonna get to it. I might just have to do another video because I can't have this be like a super long video because I have things I have to do at a certain time today. I'm like doing videos in between clients. I'm like trying to multitask here. I did want to tell you about one other service. I wasn't planning on talking to you about like 5 services today. Jeez Louise. So let me pull it up. Service I want to talk to you all about. Brand new service. It's called Personalized Music for Healing Support. So Susan and I are collaborating with an individual who's going by NX Arcana. This is my husband. He is a musician. He channels guides. He has like all these skill sets that they don't light him up. So my husband can speak to departed souls very easily. He can help them move on. And he does do that if they come to him. but it's not the thing in life that like sets him on fire. The thing that calls to him is music, and he's very, very good at it. And he's also he's always been able to channel his music. And so for this service, this is him channeling music from, it's either going to be Ra or Metatron, is most likely who it's going to be from. I can see there's potentially other guides that may contribute energies to it. But what this is mainly designed for is emotional healing. Theoretically, it could contribute towards physical healing, but it's designed for emotional healing. So if you have, Metatron's laughing at me. I was going to say, if you have something emotional that needs healing, and he laughs because it doesn't matter if you recognize it or not, we all have many wounds that need healing. So what this is I'll give you an example to help kind of illustrate it. Give me an example, Metatron. Yeah, I'm like waiting. Are you gonna? Oh, Metatron. Okay, I'm gonna start somewhere else. I'm gonna start talking about Susan and I because Annex Arcana wrote personalized music for healing for both Susan and I. So we each had our own custom music. It's all instrumental. It's on like an MP3, so you can just play it on your phone, play it on your computer, take it with you wherever you go. The the music that was written for both Susan and I, Susan, um, her music was part of, I don't know how much you want me to say here. Here's the thing, for both of us, it's clearing the most critical emotional wounding, probably that we ignore the most. It's this wounding that's occurred as the result of many, many, many lifetimes, and probably something from the current lifetime. And the wound is so big, and we've been ignoring it for so many lifetimes that it's just, it's a lot. And the thing is, we're fully functional human beings. It's not like this emotional wounding is holding us back from holding a job, having relationships, or whatever. But it's tainting the way we view ourselves. It's tainting our ability to step into our full capacity. So I have major wounding in my heart. Susan has some major wounding uh, lower down in her torso that's being cleared up. So when I listen to my music, I had a really strong reaction the first time. So I put it in, and I don't know, maybe 2 minutes into it, I just started bawling. Which, if you know me and you watch these videos, you know I absolutely hate crying, which is part of the block, right? Part of the block is that I'm not allowing myself to release what needs to be released. Um, but I cried. I cried for the first 15 minutes hard. Um, and now that I'm sensitive to energy, I could see it and feel it more. Because what's going on is music, music, is just like, it has its own color, it has its own vibration. And so the music is like the equivalent of uh, like healing, like somebody putting their hands to you. But it's a different way to present it is through music. Just like somebody can look at a piece of art and it can have beautiful colors and beautiful images, and the energy of that can be healing. It's the same concept, but this is music. It's very, very powerful though, because it's not a generic healing. It is for you. So you might say, "Oh, I I don't feel confident." Let's just no, he doesn't want that one. How about I feel lonely? Okay, I feel lonely. I feel lonely. And so that's the thing that you think is the problem. But your guides, Ra and Metatron, they know what the root cause of this is. They know what the root trauma is from this. And so they're not just sending this musician some generic healing for confidence. They know exactly what happened to you. And so they are writing the healing for your exact wounding, whether you even recognize what the problem is or not, whether you can label it correctly or not. Um, so I cried really hard on the first time I listened. I cried really hard the second time I listened to it. The third, oh, actually, the third time I cried so hard, I actually stopped listening to it. Just being honest. It's been a heck of a week. So it's powerful. I'm instructed to listen to this music for 7 weeks, 3 times a week. So I've only done a week of it so far. 6 more weeks to go, but it's transformational and it's absolutely personalized to what you need. So this is brand new service. It's available on the website now. I'll include a link in case you're interested in reading more about the description, seeing if it feels right for you. I wanted to give a message today, Metatron. We are like 30 minutes into this video already. 8:41. Oh, I could do a message still. Okay. Good, good, good. So this message that I'm going to give you is actually kind of, not going to lie, it's all over the place. It started off with one thing and then ended up with another. Where'd it go? There it is. So there's a guide that I pulled an oracle card for. Oh, and I wish I would have kept it because it's really pretty. Her name is Amat. Amaterasu. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Um, she might be Japanese. She looks Japanese. Female. And so I didn't know who she was. I pulled her oracle card and Metatron wanted me to channel her. So I was like, okay. So it's kind of like a challenge because when I don't know someone and I'm channeling them, the challenge is that I'm totally a blank slate. Like there's no it's not like I read about them and I'm like, "Oh, they're going to come through and they're going to want to talk about this." Like, "Oh, when Jesus talks to me, he's going to want to talk about like love and compassion because Jesus was so good at love and compassion." Like that kind of bias. I don't have any bias when I don't know them. So I saw her. She's wearing a dark purple robe. She's got like little pink flowers. I'm not sure if it was, oh, it was like almost like silk that she was wearing. It's like pink flowers on the fabric that made up her outfit. She sits cross-legged, but she's like floating. She's like hovering. And I've seen the only other guides I've seen do that are golden mantids, and I associate it with like enlightenment, basically. Her hair, like she had her hair up on top of her head and it was in a bun, but she had like little pieces of hair and they were kind of floating. And so whenever I see hair or clothing that kind of floats, that kind of moves in slow motion, that's an indication to me that I'm talking to like a god or a goddess. Actually, goddess. I don't think I've ever seen a god have anything float. Now that I think about it, I'm going to say goddess. But that's how everyone looks in the realm of the gods when I see them, as everything's like flames in slow motion. It's like really epic. Let's see. So I believe she is a goddess, which I checked later. She is. Her. So she says, "Do you remember me?" And man, when she said it, I can't remember what her voice even sounded like now, but when she said, "Do you remember me?" her voice was so familiar that it took me right to the edge of almost being able to remember everything, which I I can't even explain this feeling to you. It's like a very emotional feeling where you know you're just about to remember everything that ever happened and all that you are, but they kept me right there on the edge and they're like, "Nope." But it was something glorious on the other side of that, whatever it was that they held me back from. Anyways, the sound of her voice triggers a near recollection of the memories that were wiped clean, and I feel a pang in my heart. She smiles softly at me. And so this is what she tells me. I'm interested to see what you guys think because this is what came through. She says, "I am one of the holy sisters Coven." By the way, when I'm channeling, just like any channeler, the way we describe things, like holy sisters Coven, holy might not be the right word, sisters might not be the right word, Coven might not be the right word, but that's the energy of what she's given to me. "I am one of the holy sisters Coven, seeking only your highest good in whatever ways we interact. We have taken oaths to place your welfare above all else. We are protectors of the 9 sacred codes. Peace and love are 2 of those codes. Our energies help to sustain these codes everywhere." And so I totally love her right away. I'm just like, "Oh, I remember her enough to know that I trust her." This is where it gets crazy. Um, so then her message gets interrupted by another guide. This is one of my guides that I'm aware of that I adore. So this is Master Thay. I'm trying to think of properly who he is. So he was alive for most of my lifetime. He is a Vietnamese Buddhist. I cannot pronounce his proper name. Maybe I'll try to put it in the description, but everyone calls him Master Thay. It's like Thich Nhat Hanh, I think. It's kind of how you say it. Anyways, he comes forward. He's never talked to me really in a channeled message. And he says, "When you hold yourself so tightly closed in fear, you cannot experience anything beautiful around you. Your heart is a flower that is afraid to bloom. You think it is safer this way, but you are not living. Holding yourself closed, having your heart closed, is not living. This is dying. Living is growing and movement. In death, your physical body comes to a standstill. In fear, you can treat your heart like it is dead and not allow it to open and feel." So he came through. I wrote that down. Now we're back to the other guide, which is interesting. So Amat. So I asked her, I said, "Do you have a message for me or is there something you're guiding me on?" And she says something to the equivalent of, I am only your closest friend." And so I kind of laughed at her because it was like funny when she said it because I'm like treating her really formally, like, "Do you have a message for me?" And she's like, "I'm like your best friend. Like, I'm like your best friend in the whole wide world." You're being so formal. Um, so she says, "I can help you lift up into a higher version of yourself, a place of peace and joy where your heart can radiate love." So I said, "Can you lift me up now?" And now things changed again in this vision. So now I get pulled away from her Man, do you want me to do this whole thing? Okay, this is kind of long, so I apologize. I see a vision of me riding a white dragon above the clouds at sunset. The clouds are edged in pink. She, Amaterasu, is the white dragon. She has iridescent scales and long whiskers. She descends through the clouds, and I see land surrounded on one side by water. Tiny houses with lights are on below. It's beautiful from up here. Sorry, guys. I see myself. Um, I see myself with long, straight, black hair. I look Japanese again. Am I clearing stuff for this? Is there trauma with my throat? Why is it always my throat? This is crazy. This only happens when I talk to you guys. Okay, so I apologize because my voice is like really clearing something right now. Can you just make it not do this so I can read this, please? Like, can we clear this after? This is crazy. So I look Japanese. She tells me that this is Tegeti. It's another Pleiadian planet. We land, and I see a black, basically like a man who appears to be African American, a black man with a hint of Asian eyes. This is my love. The skin tones of the villagers range from pale to dark, hair ranging from straight like mine to kinky and in braids like my love. Some have African features, some have Asian features, and some have a mix. These people are beautiful. This is an island. Sean, help my voice. I'm sorry. Coughing into my mic is really horrible, so I'm very sorry. Okay. Please don't clear anything else right now. Okay. These people are beautiful. This is an island, but very large. White dragons are native here. Pink grapefruits and kumquats are native here. Green birds that fly with fanned feathers live in the trees. They almost look like a ball of feathers with a head. They are friendly like parrots. So this man that I've seen, his name is Zim. He takes my hand and walks me through a grapefruit orchard. I see a white fox come to greet us. The animals are not afraid. The geography, the way the island actually looks, reminds me of Thailand, or the islands off of Thailand is what I should say, not the mainland. There are tall rocks coming out of the water and in the land in places. We have boats like they use in Thailand to fish with. There is a spot at the front and back of the boats that we can hang a lantern on. We don't own the dragons, but when we need one, we call, and usually one appears. They choose to help us. We use them mostly for travel. They enjoy eating the fish that live around the island, and so do we. We feed them things they like in exchange for helping us. Amaterasu, as a dragon, is my favorite. She is called Goa. They live many hundreds of years, and she was already a wise adult by the time I was born. Sorry, throat. I grew up with Zim. He was and this is funny, they showed me him. He's this like skinny little boy, and he has like no shirt on. He's like holding a stick, and he's got like tons of energy. Um, he was dancing. He was like trying to impress me with his dance moves. He's about 6 years old. He was always confident, always holding my hand when we were children, even when we were little. He would tell me, I'm going to marry you, Lorraine. Lorraine is my name in this lifetime. I'm going to marry you, Lorraine. As we grew into older children, he stopped telling me he was going to marry me, but we were inseparable, and he would take my hand to lead me places. As a teenager, he grew tall and handsome, leaving his skinny limbs behind and starting to show muscle. I started showing curves in my body. I would catch him looking at my leg, peeking through the part in my clothing. He would joke that I was distracting him to win competitions against him. So we were like really competitive with each other. He had expressive faces that made me laugh. When we were closer to 20, another man asked me on a date, and I said yes, even though I wasn't especially romantically interested in him. It just sounded like it would be fun. When I told Zim about the date, he cried. When I asked him why, he said he always thought him and I would end up together. He hadn't explicitly told me his feelings the way I had needed to hear them until that moment. So I never go on the date, but Zim ends up taking me on one instead. He started telling me that he was going to marry me someday again. He started holding my hand everywhere. I was blissful. So now Zim, in this vision, he leads me to this group of 6 women who are so happy to see me. So this is a past lifetime is what we're doing, by the way, just so you know. These are some of my soul sisters. Susan's soul is one of them. Her name is Tess. She has light skin, African features, like corkscrew hair, down to her shoulders. She has freckles across her face. She is tall and lean. Her attitude, she's very sassy. She's very outspoken, and I love it. She is the most outspoken in the group of women. When we were teenagers, she would say of Zim, "That boy needs to confess his feelings before you run off with someone else." It's as if she nearly predicted the future. I love her like I love myself, maybe more. There are 5 other women in our group that we love intensely. Their personalities are all different amounts of bold and meek, gentle and funny. We are all so different, but we love each other intensely, and I feel so complete with them. They are all the things that I'm not, and all the things I am at the same time. This is a group that I bonded with since childhood. Zim, too, has a group of 5 other males that he is closely bonded to. Sometimes we all do things together, and other times we split off into men and women. We are all friends with each other, and at times there has been a lot of dating within the group. Zim takes my hand again, and Tess, Susan's soul, takes my other hand, and we walk away. We walk up a rocky hill. So let me clarify. So this is no longer, right? Okay. So this is no longer, and this is how it's confusing. So what they showed me were Zim, Tess, the other women, the other men that they showed me. That's all a past lifetime on this Pleiadian planet. But now they're taking me away from that lifetime. We're still on the planet, and they're still in those bodies, and they're going to show me other things that they want me to know about in this body. So Susan and my guy over here, we take a walk. We walk up a rocky hill that goes up high and overlooks the ocean. We have a bonfire going at the top. It is a small, flat area with a tree log to sit on. So Tess and I, we're sitting like super close next to each other. And Zim has this like handheld flute. It's kind of like shaped like this. I mean, it wasn't that big. It was probably like this big. But it's made out of like some kind of vegetable, like a gourd or something that's been hollowed out. It's round and he uses both hands to hold it. This is how we call the dragons. So he plays this flute. We're at the top of this mountain. I see 3 dragons show up. So they're all flying overhead at different elevations. There's enough room. It's kind of small on the top flat part of where we are. It's basically big enough to hold like one dragon at a time along with us. So the dragon that comes down is a male dragon that Zim prefers. This is like his favorite dragon. So Tess climbs on first, and then me, and then Zim. So we're all three on this one dragon. I ask Zim where we are going. To the mainland, he says. The sun has set. The white dragon glows in the dark, lit by the moon. We are flying over open ocean, and the wind is cold. It takes about 20 minutes to reach the next shore. I can see waves crashing on a beach and a bridge with lights. At first, it doesn't look too different from the island, but as we go deeper, I see forests, huge forests, as we fly over the trees for what seems like forever. There are parts of the land where the forest grows right. How did I say this? There are parts of the land where the forest grows right up to the cliffs, is what I should say. Right up to the cliffs overlooking the ocean. There are no beaches in these parts. I can see dirt roads below. The dragon lands at a house on a cliff. It looks dark. The moon is the only light we have. Tess is holding my hand and Zim is lighting a lantern that is outside. The dragon lays down to wait for us. The sound of the ocean is loud because the waves, basically it's like this cliff. The house is on this cliff and it goes like straight down. There's no beach down below. It's just the ocean hitting against this cliff. Behind the house is a tiny trail that leads to a view overlooking the ocean. There is a dolphin pod in the ocean. I can see about 10 different bodies breaking through the top of the water in a cluster. They are glowing green. So it's the color that they are is the color of bioluminescence, if you've ever seen that. It's like a neon green. On Earth, there are bioluminescent creatures in the ocean that also glow this neon color. So these dolphins are doing it on this planet. And so I asked Tess, what color are they in the daylight? And she waves her hand over her head in an arc. Like she does this. And by the time her hands get over here, it's daylight. Like she just changed the night to day. And the sun starts rising. And so I can look at the dolphins now and I can see that they are mint colored, beautiful creatures. So these are crystalline dolphins that exist on this Pleiadian planet. These dolphins are carriers of that energy. I guess I should be careful the way I describe it because I think a crystalline dolphin is technically the energetic version that's in the higher realms. I should say that these dolphins are carriers of the crystalline energy for dolphins. This planet is seeded with this energy. Ra pulls me back, so he steps me back from this vision and shows me the cosmos and this galaxy. It's hard to explain. So I was like on the planet, and Ra was like pulls me way back, and now all of a sudden I could see like this whole galaxy, right? Which is the Milky Way galaxy, the galaxy we're part of. He shows me that different planets house different energies, as in different crystalline energies, but that there are duplicate energies found elsewhere, like in other galaxies, in case something were to happen to that planet. So, for example, on Teget, that Pleiadian planet that I'm on, there is crystalline dolphin energy that is native to that planet. However, it's also located on another planet in the Andromedan galaxy. And That's it? Okay, that's scary. And so there's duplicate locations for this energy so that if something crazy happens and and Teget gets blown up, we still have that crystalline dolphin energy that can come back. It's still being protected somewhere. Um, I guess I should say those are only, so it's on 2 planets, plus it's in the realms, so it's safe in the realms. Okay, there we go. Ross shows me that each of these thousands of unique crystalline energies are needed to balance creation. So it's not like there's just 4 or 5 different kinds. There are many, many different kinds. There's no coincidence where they are located. So it's very strategic that that dolphin energy is on Teget and not, I don't know, on Arcturus. There's literally an energetic balancing going on for each planet by itself and also with other planets in the galaxy. The ascension of each planet, think about this, the ascension or descending of each planet is always in flux. It's always changing. It's just like how our vibration always changes. We're not like a flat line. We are not always the same vibration. During the day, we get mad and we go down, and we get excited and it goes up. Just like a planet. So the planets are constantly doing this. Crystalline energies prevent a planet from dipping into dimensions that would destroy the balance. So it's like a game. And then we're just going to use our galaxy as an example. So each planet in the galaxy has a certain vibration, and it's that way for a reason. We're trying to keep everything from not going too much this way or too much this way. Because if a planet goes too high, guess what? It's going to get destroyed because you can't have physical bodies above 7D. So we actually don't want planets going that high. And you don't want it dipping into 3D like Earth because now you have another Earth that has problems and needs to come back up. So just thinking about how connected we all are, literally how valuable it is for our entire galaxy. Think about this, for our entire galaxy, that Earth needs to ascend again, and how much work is being done on all of these other planets. Not only to lift up Earth, but to make sure that everything is still in order. Because if you just have Earth rise and nothing else happen, that's going to mess things up. There needs to be adjustments made in multiple places. So cool stuff. I like when Ra shows me cool stuff. Let me see where I am. Okay, more cool information. I'm shown that few crystalline energies existed on Earth after the destruction of Atlantis and Lemuria. So Atlantis and Lemuria were housing major amounts of crystalline energy. And when both of those civilizations got destroyed, now we know why Earth started to sink. We no longer had the crystalline energy, which allowed the planet to descend into the 3rd dimension. Because those events, so the destruction of Atlantis, the destruction of Lemuria, and because of the many personal choices of humanity, resulted in Earth dropping down. This is why crystalline energies are crucial to ascension. They are part of the equation or recipe that allows Earth to ascend, assuming there are also free will choices by humanity in alignment with a higher vibration. Atlanteans, people from Atlantis, were carriers, the actual people were carriers of crystalline energy. So when they all died in that nuclear explosion, if you haven't, I have a video on this. And so I'm basing all of my information on Atlantis based on what I channeled about it, which was a nuclear explosion that resulted in a tsunami that ended up killing all people on Atlantis in one night. And I don't know how long it took. It probably took a couple months or days, weeks, something before the actual land started sinking back into the ocean. So Atlanteans themselves were carriers of crystalline energy. So when they all died in that nuclear explosion and tsunami, there was a huge upset in the crystalline energy balance on the planet. So all of a sudden, all of them get wiped out at once. This is a huge effort by the darkness. There's a reason Atlantis and Lemuria were targeted, and now we can see very clearly why. So all that crystalline energy died with the people. It wasn't seeded as much as it needed to be in order to hold the balance. All Lightworkers were born, and this is talking to all of us now, everyone who's listening to this video was born with certain crystalline energies to seed on Earth in different ways depending on their soul contracts. And all people who are listening to this video are capable of receiving new or additional crystalline energies to seed. The children born after 2010 around certain I can't talk. The children born after 2010 that were born around certain numerologically important dates, such as children born around November 11th, 2011, they carry a specific set of crystalline energies. And those born after certain dates carry a different kind of crystalline energy. So we have all these different groups on Earth right now carrying all kinds of different crystalline energies because Earth needs a lot of different kinds, is what Ra knows that it needs. I don't know why. I don't know why we can't all just plug a bunch of dolphin crystalline energy into here. Apparently that's not as good as whatever they have planned for us. So let's see. The Lightworkers now, or the people listening to this video now, are meant to heal the crystalline grid or network under the earth. Later, it will be time to restart the crystalline heart at the center of the earth. And still later, specific energies from different groups will be placed into the grid to fortify it and make it more dynamic. So big message right there. Big message right there. I have more. I'm like, Metatron, should I stop here? And he's like, no. You want me to keep going and then talk? Okay. So I asked Tess and I asked Zim, what else can you show me about this planet? About Teget or Tegeti? I'm not sure how you say it. We climb back onto the dragon. We fly down over the top of the ocean where the dolphins were. I see small jellyfish under the water, about the size of a shoe. Zim says these are also crystalline. They are a transparent white color with reddish pink spots on the bell part of the jellyfish. So similar to jellyfish on Earth. Their energy is very light and ethereal. Zim shows me a comparison between jellyfish and our human brains. To access higher consciousness, the soul and brain must ascend higher, the way a jellyfish is always climbing higher and higher in the ocean. Obtaining higher consciousness takes a jellyfish mindset. They cannot see where they are going. They have no eyes. They just trust and continue to move up. They are easygoing, susceptible to currents, just as we must allow, release, and let go to ascend, to access higher dimensions. The jellyfish does not try to control or understand. It just tries its best and allows its experience to unfold. The jellyfish has a higher perspective and is free of the mind. And this is actually kind of funny because literally jellyfish don't have a brain. Literally no brain, which allows the jellyfish to ascend easily. This is the objective of the human, to release the mind and wander with curiosity and joyful anticipation of what you will find. Crystalline jellyfish house the energy of joyful and open exploration. This will assist Earth with accessing higher dimensional experiences and thoughts. This will grow the energies of joy and surrender, which is needed in the etheric mind and brain to access the higher human. Okay, so that's the end of what I channeled. So Teget has crystalline dolphins, it has crystalline jellyfish, or at least they have jellyfish that house crystalline energies and dolphins that house crystalline dolphin energy. So I think the big message that I got was the value of crystalline energy, of us as light workers remembering and relearning how to work with this energy, how to seed it, how to anchor it into the planet, or how to use it in the ways that we're being guided to by our guides. If working with crystalline energy is something that you are personally interested in, it is something that is currently being done within our Lightworker tribe Patreon group. So we have a Patreon community with different Lightworkers from all over the world, and the work that we did a couple days ago involved crystalline energy that was given to us by Lyran white lions that we literally went outside and seeded into earth. So if you're interested in that kind of thing and you want a place where you can start to participate in that, that's available to you. I'll try to put a link in the description along with all the other links. This video is so long. Okay, I gotta quit making really long videos. This is too long. People need shorter videos so they can like get through these things. Okay. It's everything I have for you guys today. I haven't seen you in a long time, so I guess I probably owed you guys a long video. I feel like there's something else, Metatron. No, we're good. Okay. All right, that's everything I have then. I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.